All right, green light. When to flip and when to dip. One of the things that I hear a lot, people love to flip a house. As you would guess, most people don't or can't. What is a flip? I'm buying a house or a property at a depressed value, fixing it up, selling it again in a short period for a profit. The term has a pretty bad connotation. Some of this stuff has been filmed on HGTV, good flips, bad flips, that kind of stuff. But most people, when they think of flip, and it varies based on your market, they think of somebody going in to make money and they just spent the bare minimum, they cut corners, didn't pull permits to do anything, and they leave a property that looks great from afar, but far from great. When you see a property like that as an agent or as a discerning buyer, you're skeptical and ultimately don't put a contract on it. There's just too many what ifs, which means it's going to sit longer and you won't get the price that you want as the investor. And honestly, it's just not the way to do it. We work with a lot of investors and a lot of clients that do flip. For our clients that are into this, we basically have 3 rules for them. First one's an obvious one. Location has to be good. 2, we need to know the in value. What's it going to cost to buy it? We need to know the renovation cost. What's it going to cost to fix it up? And the out value, what is it going to sell for? What are those closing costs going to be? We need to make sure that the numbers are right. Number 3, we have to do it right. We don't cut corners. Pull permits when you need to. Trust me, as somebody who's represented people that have bought flips and people that have flipped and sold these properties, people check. These buyers are going to give you hell if you don't do this. As far as profit goes, what are you supposed to target as an investor looking to get into the flip game? If you can profit with 20%, you've hit a home run. Generally speaking, that's a target number. Obviously, it's fluid depending on your market. I'll give you an example of 20%. Buy a house for $500,000 in $1 million neighborhood. Is that likely? No. Occasionally, you can have a foreclosure, something that you get at auction. You can occasionally find that. It's very rare around here, trust me. Let's say you get that house, all right? You put $200,000 into that house. New flooring, kitchen, new bathroom, new paint everywhere, new windows. Depending on the size of this house, you might end up spending more than that. But let's say your all-in investment for that house is $700,000. 20% of that $700,000 is $140,000. If you sell that property for anything over $900,000, which seems like duh, it's $1 million neighborhood, including your closing cost, you're going to hit your margins as a flipper and investor. It's going to be an absolute home run. Those are perfect. Likelihood of finding something exactly like that, pretty slim. That's the idea, right? The question is, when do you walk away from an opportunity? When to flip and when to dip? Do you walk away if you can't find the 20% profit? No, not necessarily. If you can get more, great. Yeah. Every investor has a little different target number for a property and a different threshold for risk. That scale is going to vary based on the investors. Doesn't mean necessarily that you want to walk away from that deal, but you do want to walk away if the location won't support the numbers. So if your acquisition price is too high, the renovation cost is too high, and the out value is way too high for what the neighborhood's going to support. If you're buying that, depressed house at $800,000 in $1 million neighborhood, and there hasn't been a sale over $1 million, what you're doing essentially, doing the same renovation and everything, and then you're hoping, hey, let me list this thing at $1.1 million and see what happens. No, nothing else is sold there. That better be a damn good renovation. In my opinion, it's too risky. You walk away from a project if you know you're not going to do it right. If you don't have contractors that are reliable, just don't do it. You don't have the money to carry the house. It's going to be an extensive renovation. You're going to have to pay the mortgage and property taxes. If you don't have that ability, don't do it. Walk away from the deal if the market's too volatile. If you feel like you're buying high and you're not going to be able to get this for a return that makes sense, you walk away from it. No one can predict the future, but we can use data, experience, and discussion with a local expert to give you the best advice on flipping in today's market.